I'm Tina Korbe with HotAir.com, and I'm with Sheriff Babeu from Arizona, just catching up with him at CPAC. So just tell us what you've been up to the past couple months.
It's been a great trip out here, Tina, to not only be a sheriff who enforces all of the laws and to fight the drug cartels out in Arizona, but to bring a message to our friends at CPAC. And we had an opportunity yesterday to be on a panel with former Attorney General Ed Meese, of course, you know, from the Heritage Foundation, and George Allen, who the former governor, now running for Senate in Virginia. So we got to talk about not just securing the border and what it's going to take, fighting the drug cartels, but also Fast and Furious, a program from the Department of Justice, Eric Holder, that they literally facilitated 2,000 high-powered weapons into the hands of the cartels from Mexico that we're fighting. So, and trampling upon the Constitution and doing these things against our country. So in holding these people in the Obama administration accountable for what they have done, many of us, including me, feel that whoever made these decisions should be held criminally accountable, because people have been murdered. Our hero in the Border Patrol, Agent Brian Terry, was murdered in my state. 2 of the guns that were used to kill him on the scene were from Fast and Furious. There's no accountability. Eric Holder still hasn't come clean to say who made these decisions. And it's been over a year. 200 to 300 people in Mexico have been killed by these guns. And this is a larger scandal than anything like Watergate. Nobody died there. People lied, and there was a cover-up. Here, there's lies and cover-up, and we still don't have the answers, but people have been killed. 1,400 of these guns are still outstanding. Other people will die from actions of Eric Holder and the Department of Justice.
Those of us in new media who have been following this story and have been writing about it have been very frustrated at the lack of attention that it's received from the mainstream media.
Yes.
And even in terms of the Republican debates, I think it's come up maybe one time. So how has that been for you, first of all, that it's not receiving more attention, and what are you doing to try to call more attention to it?
Well, in Arizona, the last 2 years, I've had the opportunity to serve as president of the Arizona Sheriff's Association. I brought all of our sheriffs together, and in fact, in one press conference, we had 5 Democrat sheriffs and 5 Republican sheriffs, and we stood, because it's not a partisan issue.
Right.
This is about public safety, it's about national security, and we jointly said that we feel betrayed, and we have been, by Eric Holder, the Obama administration, the fact that they never told us. We're the top law enforcement officials of our county. They never told us that they were facilitating through straw purchasers 2,000 high-powered weapons from law-abiding gun dealers in our state into the hands of people that many of them didn't even have jobs, and they were buying these guns dozens at a time with cash. These gun dealers called the ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, said, hey, this doesn't smell right, and you know what ATF told them? Sell them the guns. We're tracking them. The truth is, they weren't tracking any of these guns. These guns ended up in the hands of the cartels, and now all these people have been killed, crimes being committed, they're being smuggled back into our country, they're being used in the commission of crimes, and everybody's pointing in different directions in the Obama administration.
Let's talk about those outstanding guns. You said 1,400 guns still missing. What can be done about that?
Well, until there's no tracking devices, we don't know who has these weapons now. And so this is where, for years to come, this is going to trickle out. People are going to be killed, crimes are going to be committed. The only way we can confiscate these guns is if we raid a drug house and there's 5 guns here, and guess what? They're connected to Fast and Furious. Our agency, the Pinell County Sheriff's Office, we partnered and led a task force of 21 law enforcement agencies to fight the Sinaloa cartels in my county. We busted, it's the largest bust in Arizona history, $2 to $3 billion. Arrested 76 people just 3 months ago. 6 of them were key figures in the Sinaloa cartel. 108 weapons. These weren't just handguns. These were scoped rifles, AK-47s, and 2 of these weapons were from Fast and Furious. So this is what we call evidence. Now these guns are coming back up, being used by the cartels to fight us.
Right.
And this is outrageous. And all the while, the Obama administration has been attacking our Second Amendment rights, been blaming America and our gun rights as the problem in the violence in Mexico, and then lo and behold, we now find out that it was the Obama administration through Eric Holder. And whatever happened to Janet Napolitano, who says the border's more secure than ever? How did 2,000 guns get across the secure border if this lady's in charge? And where's Hillary Clinton? She's the Secretary of State. Mexico is a stated ally of the United States. We have just armed paramilitary organizations, all these cartels that are fighting, that are at war with Mexico. I'm a retired Army officer, and in Mexico, for us to do that against a stated ally, that triggers in the Geneva Convention an act of war. This is outrageous. People need to be held accountable for this, and we're getting no answers.
You answered a lot of my questions when you were just talking. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the fact that it's been used as an argument almost for gun control. The fact that there were no tracking devices on the weapons makes this scandal really susceptible to conspiracy theories, to say, oh, they're doing this purposely to arm the drug cartels, so that when this violence occurs, they can use it as an argument for gun control. I mean, do you think that's crazy, or is that the most plausible explanation?
This was one time dismissed as crazy or some wild-eyed right-wing conspiracy that this could be the case. Well, guess what? There's no other justification. I'm in the business of clues and evidence. Their only defense that they have given is they were tracking these guns and they were going after these, quote, big fish. Well, guess what? They weren't tracking anything. Even in a minor investigation in law enforcement, we're tracking drugs. We never let it out of our line of sight. We track with surveillance. We have people trail them. We have CIs, criminal informants that give us information, then we effect an arrest. These are guns. How could anybody in their wildest imagination ever believe that this would end well? It hasn't, and the end isn't even here.
And that's why people keep saying, oh, it really wasn't a botched operation. It worked the way it was intended.
It was perfectly executed from the Obama, Holder, Napolitano administration to achieve the end state, which I believe is further destabilization, but mainly for this whole argument that they've had to further restrict our gun rights and liberties here in the United States. They have to be stopped. These people need to be fired. In 2012 was the year that we're going to fire them.
Well, switching gears just a little bit,
yes.
My last question, you are running for Congress in Arizona,
yes.
in a new district, so what do you hope to do if you're elected to Congress?
Stand up for the rule of law, that I will not be silent. I will be a part of a chorus of conservatives, but one of the strongest voices, not only on these issues, but as a free market guy, somebody who understands the strength, the history of America is in the free market, as a capitalist society that we have in America on the right, those of us who work for a living and earn it, and earn our way, the American dream, versus those over here who are occupying Wall Street, Washington, or Phoenix, Arizona, and believe they're entitled to things they've never earned. And the president putting wind in their sails and saying this is the future of America. Well, we're very rapidly evolving into one of these failed European states. And I shall not allow that to be the future of America.
Well, thank you so much for your time and for talking with me. Best of luck in your race.
It was a real pleasure.
It was very nice to meet you. Yes, thank you.